Taiwan's healthcare is ranked number 1 globally for the 5th consecutive year. That's 5 years in a row where Taiwan has had the best healthcare, and I have not used it at all. I have nothing to say about this topic.
Wow.
So I hope that maybe you guys can help me. Is Taiwan's healthcare really that good?
I have more than enough stories to prove Taiwan is that good.
Okay.
Okay, like my wife, she just broke her rib. When she went to a chiropractic, he pushed too hard and just right through the bone.
Isn't that the best way of saying that Taiwan's healthcare is the best in the world? My wife broke her ribs.
Well, she went to see the doctor.
Doctor.
Wait. The point is that was not a doctor.
Oh, that was not a doctor.
No.
Like a
Cracking thing.
chiropractor.
Yeah, chiropractor. But it's not like he's not a certified doctor.
Oh.
He's just knowing how to just push a little bit. And what he did was some kind of move that he shouldn't have done. And then he pushed too hard and it broke her rib. So she's even suing him for that. Well, long story short, she had to make an x-ray. She went to the
Doctor?
Yeah, emergency room. And you would guess that that costs some money, right? But she paid for for everything, the x-ray, the checkup, the whole thing with medication. You should think that it's quite a lot of money to spend, but she paid just 600 Taiwan dollar for everything.
Oh, wow.
Like that's nothing. That's nothing in compared to Germany. And even yet now, a few days ago, she made the CAT scan, the CT. I don't know, in Germany you pay like 6,000 Taiwan dollar. Taiwan you just pay almost half of it for a whole CT scan.
How is the actual service, the actual health? Not like that it's cheaper, but do you have any experience, like if you would get like an x-ray or a CT scan in Germany, how is that compared to like Taiwan?
In Germany, you usually have to wait a little bit longer and everyone feels quite annoyed working with you. Like, oh, you want an x-ray? Okay. Do you really need one? It's just a little bit broken, you know? I think you can work with that and come back in 3 days if it's still bad. It's like that kind of attitude. But in Taiwan, it's like, you need an x-ray. Okay, no problem. In 2 minutes? Like that. Like they're waiting for you to come in and they want to heal you and they want to work with you to get better.
And I think we should also still say that European countries in general have good healthcare. Like the bad one in the world is probably the US, like most people know. Yeah.
The worst.
Like if you have, you need just one like bong on your arm, maybe it's, there are stories where it's like 800 USD, like ridiculously. So in Europe, it's usually quite good, but the service in Taiwan is just one step above. Like I know in France, if you go to emergency room, you have to wait so many hours, maybe 6 hours, 10 hours sometimes until somebody actually comes and help you. And when you go to the ER, you need help right now, usually, right? In Taiwan, it's really so fast. Like maybe you come any day of the week, at any time, maybe you have to wait maximum 1 hour. I have been a couple of times, ER or appointment, and every appointment you take is made on computer. You can see immediately which time of the week is free. You just book, you go. It's just so smooth. And in one go in the hospital, they arrange the whole thing. Like first you see the doctor, then you go maybe get blood sample, then you go get some x-ray. Everything can be done within 2 hours. It's ridiculously efficient, you know.
Yeah, and you can even download an app and book everything in advance. Check which doctor has which degree, everything on your app.
How? Like, why are you guys in the hospital so much? I don't understand.
We have been there too much.
I don't even go often, but I guess, I don't know, for different reasons, maybe once a year you still go. There is one thing, I don't know if your countries also have this issue, but if you want to see the eye specialist, maybe to get some new glasses or something, do you know how much time you have to wait in France?
I'm going to tell you a story later. I'm going to say like 6 months.
Yeah, it's 6 months.
Yeah,
it's 6 months.
It's longer than Germany.
It's ridiculous.
This is the same thing like in Sweden too.
Okay.
So it's like, because my only contribution to this topic is just like bad stories from Sweden because it's like, it's so bad. But I just want to say, because you mentioned like how fast it is. I was taking my ex-girlfriend to the hospital. She was just puking for like 5 hours straight.
Wow.
It was like non-stop. It just didn't stop. It was just like non-stop. We were living in Guting we were going to like one of these, like the hospital, like Renai, I think. It was like in the middle of the night. It was like 1 a.m. And we're like, you've been puking like the whole night. If you don't go now, like you're never going to sleep. Let's go to the hospital. So we went from Guting to the hospital, took a cab to the hospital. She got like a needle that would help her to stop puking. I didn't even know that was a thing, but it's a thing. And she got some pills to like make her feel better. So like they gave her like 2 treatments. And then we took a cab back home. 1.5 hours to do like everything.
Yeah.
And that's like 20 minutes cab ride within that, you know. And I was expecting to stay in the hospital for like all night until like 10 a.m. And I was like, this is amazing. I don't know what she had, like what the issue is, but we just like bam, 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 bam. Amazing.
Yeah,
Totally.
it's ridiculous how long you have to wait in Europe.
Yeah, I had one surgery in Taiwan about my nose that for some reason like it gets very
Big.
It's like
Sorry.
no, it gets very stuffed inside, and it's almost to the point that it's very hard to breathe.
Oh.
Was that why you were sneezing in the previous video? Can you just try the microphones? See if it works.
I think my family in general has this tendency to be very, like the sinus inside maybe gets inflamed more often. So I know many people in my family sneeze or they have a runny nose. Yeah, it's a family thing, you know. But so at some point I started to think it's really annoying because at night it's hard to breathe. So I heard about this kind of new technology that's working with ultrasound. And basically they stick a needle inside your nose in the flesh. They do the ultrasound thing like, and for some reason, the things that inside that get swollen, they just don't get swollen anymore. I don't know so much.
So like you never get a stuffy nose.
So it comes back after 2-3 years. So these days I realize it's a little bit worse than it was maybe 2 years ago, but it's still much better. So I consider to do it again if I wanted to improve again. But basically, yeah, the whole process was also super efficient. Like first visit, checking, they do some tests, they take some samples. Like you have a next visit, you have the surgery, and then you have follow-up visits. Everything is just so smooth. And as a surgery, I think it was more than you said, like the 600. Maybe it was, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 NT. But that's like for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 total visits. And it was not covered by the health insurance, I think. It was outside of the policy, so it's still very cheap for what it was. Thanks to Taiwan, I can breathe now. I have never been that happy in my life.
Thanks for coming up with the title for the video. My dad just had like a knee surgery. Okay. So now he's on like crutches right now. Or he should be on crutches. He's cheating a little bit. So Dad, if you're watching, 2 crutches all times. But then he had to wait like months to get this like done, to get the surgery to begin with. And in Sweden, we have different like regions. So like, you know, like let's say Taipei City and like Kaohsiung County, like every county has their own like doctor, their own hospital. But we have like these specialists. So we had to travel like across the entire country to go to see this specialist, which is like to use this specific issue that he has with his knee. But his main doctor is in his region, right? In the forest in Sweden. He went to the doctor first, getting an appointment at the specialist. He went to the specialist. He went like on the table, and he was like, they gave him the drugs like morphine, and like he's in this like the hospital gown, like lying there on the table,
ready for surgery. Like the doctor literally has like the knife in his hand. And my dad, you know, he was like, "Oh, out of curiosity, what are you actually gonna do with the knee? Like, can you give me the details?" And the doctor is like, "You don't know?" And he's like, "No, I mean, I know you're going to do a surgery on my knee, but I don't know, like, what you're going to do." And he's like, "You should have had an appointment with your doctor in, like, the forest who should have told you everything and make sure that you understand, like, what I'm going to do, the risks of what I'm going to do, the options of what I can do, blah, 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 blah. You didn't have that?" And he's like, "No, he said that we were going to have, like, a final meeting, but we already agreed to do the surgery, so we just skipped the final meeting, and he booked this time instead." And he's like, "He cannot do that. You have to leave right now. I cannot do the surgery." So then they put my dad on a train, like by himself,
on morphine to go back to the forest, like, and then they'd like do everything like all over again, like a few months. It went much faster the second time, and then I was just like, I wonder if this happens in Taiwan, because I never hear about like these stories, you know. But in Sweden, it's quite common too. Same like with my finger. This is after a surgery in Sweden.
What's wrong with it?
Oh, you don't know?
She doesn't know.
You don't know? Try to strengthen my finger.
What?
Don't
To straighten your
try
finger?
too hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Try.
Oh, nice. How did you do that?
I played basketball.
And that happened?
So what happened was like my finger was like broken in that way. And then they fixed it. And they literally took like, first time it wasn't a surgery. So they took like an ice cream, like with the wooden stick to like an ice cream, like a lollipop.
Okay.
To put it like in this angle. And they said like, okay, like boom, they put it out. Just come back in 3 weeks and we'll take off the little ice cream lollipop and we'll fix it. And I came back and my finger was stuck like this. And I told the doctor, it's like, thanks, but my finger is stuck. And then they're like, huh, okay. Well, there's nothing we can do right now because our policies is that if there's something wrong, we have to wait 1 year to give you a surgery. That's like the hospital policy. And I was like, that's ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, but it's the hospital policy. So then a year, I went with this like for a year. Then a year later, I had a surgery to fix it, as you can see. And they fixed it. And then the same ice cream stick, probably different ice cream, but the same stick. And they put it like slightly like straight like this. And then I went like that for 3 weeks. I went into the doctor, like a different doctor. I went in like that and they took it off. And it was good. It was like super sore, of course, but it was good. I could like move it. And then like, oh, great, perfect. Okay, I went back to sleep. I woke up like that. And it was stuck again like 1 year later. And then they're like, well, you already had your surgery. There's nothing we can do. Like the only thing they can do is to make it a surgery so it's straight again. But it's better to have it here because like it's less in the way. I can still like bend it like that. I just cannot put it straight. So that's my Swedish healthcare story. It's free, but my experiences with it has not really been that great.
Could be a little better.
Could be a little better, yes. So yeah. So I of course I hope that Taiwan's healthcare is much better than this.
Actually, it's so safe. First see the doctor, then they see your
Health insurance card.
Health insurance card, thank you. Then ID for the whole hospital. Whenever you go to, for example, you go and make the x-ray, you have to give that card. They will look at it and they will ask you, where's the paper the doctor gave you? There's everything written down step by step, what you have to do, where you have to go next, when you have to pay, what you have to pay. There's everything written down and there's nothing that can go wrong. Like that's so secure, you don't have to worry about anything. I think that would not happen here.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you all so much for watching. That was everything we had to talk about today. But if you have any more news or updates or anything else Taiwan related that you may or may not want to hear some foreigners' opinions about, please do reach out to our social media or just leave a comment down below and maybe we'll talk about that in the next episode. But if you cannot wait until then, you actually have another video right here and another one right here, which you both can watch right now. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. It starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both and see you all in the next one.